Here, it's a festival. It's really a festival. People dance. Also, the main of the village do some speech. So it's really a festival, and people are not sad. People are very happy. For example, as I told you, okay, the bodies lay down here on the floor, and they have already unwrapped with another new sheet, and also they put the name of the person who is here. Some of them have their own stuff. I don't know the name. The shoes of that man, for example. They keep some of their objects of life. They drink a lot, this is true. Really. They really drink a lot. At the end of the day, most of them are drunk. Especially this man here, with the face, I remember. Also has some types of the air who is filled with emotion. Okay, I think this person was her husband, so it was just, she was crying, she was just, even that in their surroundings there were a lot of people crying and singing and so on, but she was, you know, face, here you cannot see very much the face, but I remember that moment that she was very upset and just being, also there were bodies of children also, I mean.
So they do this every 7 years. So sometimes they do this with a corpse or with a person who has been dead for 21 years. But so speaking from a maybe European point of view, this isn't very hygienic.
For how many years?
So how many years can you do this actually? And don't they think about maybe infections or
no
hygiene?
I mean, I've seen only once. I'm not going back there every 7 years. But they said that every 7 years they are doing, this was in, I don't know, this trip I did 4 years ago, so can be, maybe in 2 years back again they are going to do the same, and they are doing that until maybe it doesn't, the rest is nothing, you know, this small, this big, let's say parcel, no, it's getting more smaller. They told me that for them it's very important, this ceremony, because these ones are the ones who are controlling their life in just now. I mean, they believe a lot of that. For example, for us, for foreigners, it's forbidden to enter to the cemeteries, even to take pictures to the tombs. Okay, so they say it's a fale. Fale for them it's something sacred. Okay, it's something mysterious that only can do their people, not foreigners. Okay, this is, as I told you, we call Pantheon in Spanish, the big, I don't know how do you say that in English. It's a tomb, but it's a big one. It belongs to just one family. So you enter here, I remember I entered inside, there is some stairs and several spaces for the dead. Okay.
Vanuatu está situado en el Océano Pacífico, en la Melanca.
Okay, now you know where is Vanuatu. Okay, as I told you, Papua New Guinea on the top, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and New Zealand. Okay. So there is a very small island which called.
A 1.200 kilómetros al este de Australia.
I'm going to go through the experience already, okay? Okay, here I'm going to show one ceremony, one special ceremony. It's a circumcision ceremony. Okay, when a boy has around 10 years old, what they do is they bring the boy up to a tree. Okay. Then they cut with a knife. They cut it, and they leave. They cut the piece of the penis with the circumcision. So what they do, they leave the child there on the top of the tree, living there. They build for him a little house, and every day the only persons or the only person who can go to give him some meals and some food are the men of the family. I'm talking about father, brothers, uncles, and anyway, not the woman. After three months, this is also cured. I mean, then it's when they make this party. Okay, the party is a big party. They make with all the families and all the guests, friends, and so on. And they bring porks, they bring carpets. Yeah, as you can see, they bring porks as an offers to that. Eh? You see here. Okay. So they bring all the pork as a present to this circumcision party. Okay, so here also they spend a lot of money for that. These are the typical potatoes of the Pacific. They call taro. How did they kill the pork? Just hitting in the face. Okay. This ceremony will take place during 24 hours. So every night, the whole night they are dancing, and it's amazing. It's amazing because they don't use any musical instrument. What do? Is their feet to step, their feet, and hundreds of persons in the middle of the square. It's really amazing. See that? Really interesting. After that, I want you to show you my experience with these small numbers, which is not. This is the rest of the. Okay. Okay. Here I am already living with these tribes. To reach to these places, you need at least to walk. In that case, was 3 days. Okay, through jungle. Then, when you arrive, for example, all the time when you want to live with tribe, you have to ask permission. In that case, there is one market daily in the town, and one of them came to town to the market. So that was a good time to ask him if it was possible to go there to live with them. These persons, these people, one of the things that shocked me a lot is that they still make fire with stones. Okay, they didn't use lighter, matches, anything. Okay, like in the old stone. Okay, this is what they showed me in the 21st century. Okay, they know where I come from. They know that we have all the comfortable. We have everything mobile or thinking. Of course, I have to tell you the truth. when I travel outside Europe, I never bring the mobile. Never. It's useful. It's unuseful at all. So I was showing pictures of Barcelona. I was telling them, have you heard about Sagrada Familia, this big church over there? So I try to communicate with him. Of course, first they are very how would I say, very surprised to see you there. So the distance are quite long, you know. They see like that. They look at you in a different way. So after 3 days walking and you reach to this place, they make the welcome with a very big dancing, also without using any musical instrument, and just with their feet and the palms, they show how happy they are on this is the way of being welcome. The life here is very simple. They don't know how to write, they don't know how to read, nothing. If you ask to the main person, to the main boss or the chief of the village, how old is he? He said, I don't know, I am the age of that tree. That's the answer. I am the age of that tree. Why? I said, because that tree, when I was young, was smaller, and now it becomes like that. So I remember that he compares the age of him to the age of the nature, because they are animistas, so they believe in nature and they don't believe in any god. Okay? The life with them is very simple. Who work in these tribes? Only women. Men don't do anything. Anything. Just relax, laying down, nothing special. The men, they are all in the main in the square they call Nakamal, which is nothing, which is insane, earth and so on. And they are laying down the whole day. Sometimes they feel like it's time for boat fishing shrimps in the river. Okay, so once I went with them to fish So we walk. Of course, I was with my shoes, sport shoes. They were completely barefoot. I mean, with nothing. And once we arrive in the river, they just try to look for shrimps. So they found shrimps. Boom, boom, there. And one of them asked me, "Do you want to taste it?" And he said, "Yeah, okay." Do you know how long did that take to eat that shrimp? 1 hour. Because of course they make that with the stones. They have to make fire with wood plus stones and so on. 1 hour. I can tell you really the truth. That's the most delicious shrimp I've ever had in my life. Okay. Even if you are hungry, 1 hour waiting is quite a long. Very simple things from them. I learned very simple things. For example, how they make me that they were happy with me. Very simple. Just they stop in a nakama and they start to dance. To move and to dance and sing. He said, why are they doing that? Because they want to show you how happy they are that you are there. One thing, you have to follow the ceremony they do every day. They call kava ceremony. What's the kava? Kava was a plant that they crush they put in the mouth. They crush, they spit. They spit in a wood, okay, like a clothes, and then they put water. What they fall down from there is the kava, is the liquid. This liquid is very sour, very bad, but me in that case, as a guest, you have to drink it, yes, okay? I mean, you have to do that. Of course, they don't have glasses. What do they do what do they use for glasses? A coconut. Okay? A coconut. So the first one who drink that is the chief, the first coconut. But they don't drink only one, they drink 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end, most of the men, because it's only a ceremony for men, are laying down. You see 20, 25 men laying down there because they are so exhausted. It's like a drug, okay? They cannot talk, they go silence, and they sleep the whole night. If someone wakes up in the middle of the night and he feels so happy, so he knows where his wife lives, because they have several wives, and every wife is living in a hut. Okay? So I said, okay, I'm happy. Now I'm going to see my first wife. So she goes there, she feels happy, and coming back to the square to continue sleeping. Okay? This is their life. Okay? Anyway, the people there is very nice. I stay with them 1 week. Okay, eating what they eat, which is just very simple, chicken and soup, and that's it. Okay, you know, the last day when I dismiss them, when I say, okay, now I have to leave and so on, we were so sad, we were crying, all of them. So they gave me some presents. You know what they gave me as a present? First, a carpet made by palm trees, and second, 3 chicken. Okay? 3 cocks, 3 chicken. Why did they give me chicken? Live chicken, huh? Not dead chicken. They wanted me to bring the chicken to my country. Okay? Why? They don't know where is Spain. So they said, okay, we give you these 3 chicken. That for them it's very important, this chicken, because it's their food. Okay. They gave me that not to be hungry. Okay. So they said, you have these 3 chicken, and you can go back to your country. Okay. So very simple, but you have to know that in the Pacific, when you take a planes from one island to the island, there are small planes, Fokker planes, okay, only 12 people maximum in the plane, and one thing, you can bring all animals you want. Sometimes I was flying in some islands, and I had some pigs under my legs, and I had some cocks and everything, because all together, okay, animals and people go together in that flight. So for them it's very simple, it's very common to fly with animals.
So have you brought chicken to Spain?
Good question. Some people ask me, what did you do with the chicken? Okay, so because on the way it was 3 days back again, so I had to, I gave it to the several villages I went down before getting to, I gave this chicken to these people, okay?
And how could you understand with them?
Yeah, I could understand because, of course, that to reach these places, you need a guide, or you need someone who knows the way to reach that place. There are no signs, there is nothing, it's full jungle, okay? So I always take a boy or someone who knows the way, who speaks a little bit their language, okay, and who really speak a little bit English or French. So with that, I can manage, okay. I cannot have long conversations with these people, but really it's one of my best experiences I've ever had living with these people. Why? Huh?
As a tourist, not as a traveler. Because if you have,
do you remember as a traveler? Because not many people wants to go there, because you have to be prepared physically and mentally. Okay, you have to eat everything they gave you. I'm sure that if you see the food, you see, oh, I'm not going to eat that. But you have to. I mean, you have to be a very special traveler, a very special person like me, who love to live with these people. I don't mind about any uncomfortable thing. Why? Because I was sleeping, for example, on the floor like them, and there was malaria in the... What's the name? Pulgas? Pushas? Como se diz? This small animal, this insect that makes you... Yeah. So, full, okay? You say you're full. Anyway, it's not easy to reach these places, but the experience I got is really amazing. For that, I went back to the other thing I wanted to show you. Okay, what's this experience can produce me? Authenticity is distance. Okay, it means that if you want to have such a good experience, you have to be in mind that you have to go very far, because near in your place, I'm talking about tribes. Okay, I'm talking about tribes. If you want to really have a good experience, you have to go very far, and especially I love Pacific because there are so many islands with no one no one living there, at least known persons. Okay? Another experience I had, for example, in Papua New Guinea with the Dani people is very simple for us, but very complicated for them, is to wash my teeth. Why to wash my teeth? What happened when you wash your teeth? What happened when you wash your teeth? Tell me. You use tooth? Right. Okay. This thing that comes from your mouth, they thought that I was like a dog when it got some rabia, no sé cómo se rabia. Yeah. You know, when a soccer said, oh no, don't go this. Okay? So this is what they were thinking. Okay? Or a very simple thing like a comb, okay? A comb with these things. They put, you said, oh my God, what's that? And they had never seen a comb. Okay? Things like that. For having such a good experience, you have to go very far from your place. Okay? So that's why I'm telling little contact with Westerners. Okay? Second very important thing, preparation in advance, physical and mentally. Physical, you have to walk a lot in a very complicated way, because there are no paths. You have to cross rivers. Sometimes the water comes to until here. So it's quite complicated, okay? You sweat a lot, because also I am carrying my backpack with my cameras and so on. So if you are a person who don't get used to practice sport or to do whatever, so it's quite complicated to reach these places, okay? And also mentally. As I told you, not everyone can have these experiences. Why? Because we get used to live in a very nice place where we have everything next to us. Okay? What happened? Very simple things, like hot water. For them it's very complicated to get hot water. Why? Because they have maybe to walk 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers far to find the water, coming back, and then heat that water. Now we go just to the bathroom, to the tap, very easily, boom, we have hot water. Simple things. Simple things that for us are common, for them it's very complicated. So, you have also mentally to know that if you want to live like them, you have to eat these type of things. food that you have never seen. Maybe you have to eat some animals or whatever, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to explain you about another tribe I was living with, the Mentawai in Sumatra Island, where I ate monkey. Also in the north of Vietnam, you know, what do they eat? Dog. You go to the market in the north of Vietnam and you see the dogs lying in a market dog, okay? And for example, in Slovakia, do you eat rabbit?
Yes.
You know that rabbit for States, for Americans, is a pet, is an animal. So it's like here eating the cat. No way. Okay? We have to mentalize that we enter in another culture very different from ours. Okay? There are, actually, this is why I do like so much traveling, because I want to be in completely different cultures. My own culture gets me very bored, because it's always the same. So that's why I try to put in my life different things that could enjoy in traveling, which are living with them. Ways to be accepted, of course. Sometimes you are accepted, sometimes you are not accepted. If you are not accepted, forget it. You cannot enter there. Okay? One very important thing to be accepted is the children. The children, if you get so close to them, then you have something important that they will open their houses. But first, try to be in touch first with the children. The communication, as your friend said, of course, I know the basic languages, but sometimes that's because it's so important to have a person, a guy, who can guide you to all these tribes. Because as I told you, the rough way to reach there, and you get lost very, very easily in the jungle. Okay? Personal enrichment. Okay, that's the most important thing. When I come back here in my own tribe, in my own culture, I said, "Oh, Jordi, how fortunate, how lucky you are to live here. Okay, to come back in your culture and to live what I am living. Okay, because you really appreciate all the small things that maybe here in our culture we won't appreciate anymore. Just, I told you, simple things. Okay. When you come back, that's so hard to live there, and I said, okay, it's nice to see these tribes, it's nice to live these tribes, but I always like to come back to do what I am doing, teaching, lecturing, exhibition, blah, 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 okay? So this is very important. So I feel how happy we are. So sometimes when we have depressions in life, okay? I told people, okay, why don't you go to India? You don't have to go to here. Go to India and you'll see how happy you'll come back from India. And India, I said, India is a common trade that you can go there, but you see a lot of difference with our culture. Experiences within the tribe. Yes, if I go there, I was a guest who wanted to try everything, to go with them to fish in the river, to taste this kava ceremony, everything. You cannot be maintained outside from the tribe, because really this doesn't work. Okay, you have to be one member more for them. Now with the digital cameras, it's easier. Okay, because you took a photo and you showed the photo. Before was more complicated because they couldn't see the photos. Okay, the dismissal is very sad. This is one of the saddest things when I travel. The dismissal. Why? Because I met so nice people. I don't mean here in tribes, even travelers. Okay, travelers or people who live in the places. I was living in Samoa Island in a very nice family, and after 2 months, I got a phone call from that family, and he said, Jordi, what are you doing? Why did we miss you a lot? Why you don't come back here? So this type of personal engagement with that family is very important, because I know that for them they make a sacrifice to pay this phone call. Okay, so also it's very important the contact with the families and so on. Of course, that I told you one of the saddest things is that maybe I won't see them again, okay, unless I come back. And as I told you at the end, the personal transformation after the experience, okay? As I told you, you as a person, you come here with another mind, with another mentality. You are, as I told you appreciate more these small things. You appreciate more everything in life. We have to appreciate these small things. We appreciate that. I know that we'll be happier in life. This is my own experience, which I wanted to explain you through this experience with these small numbers. So, any questions? Silent questions? Silence questions?
I have a question about it. What do you think, how it's from their side? What is the advantage from their side, from the tribe?
From their side?
Because I have read an article that the travelers brought the virus, and there's virus which is not bad for us.
Yes. Did you hear the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. She asked me on the other side for them what was their experience. Okay. First of all, they asked me, "Are you missionary?" And I said, "No, I am not missionary." Why? Because the missionaries arrived in their land, and they said, "Okay, leave your land and go for a new life on the coast, to fish and so on." You don't have to do that with these tribes. You cannot say to these people who have been living all the time, their land is from the ancestors. You cannot tell, okay, leave from here and go down and go dress with shirt, trousers and so on. No, okay? This is one thing. Second thing, one of the things is to respect. Fortunately, this is so complicated to arrive in that places that not many people want to do this experience. But also, I have to tell you that they feel very happy that I choose their tribe, or I choose their village to visit, because they know that I came from very far away. They don't know anything about geography and the world and so on. But they feel happy that I choose that experience to have with them. That's it. I think, and also it's a question of respect. People who wants to go there are people who really wants to respect their way of living and try to be one of them.
Okay, Matt?
In the first lecture, you started to explain about the family and the travel, because you are traveling all the time. Maybe it's a little bit personal question, but how do you, mantener eso dos?
You are talking about families here or my No, because the other time I asked you the other question. Nowadays it's not easy to find a wife who can support all my travels. Okay? Why? Because it's not so easy. So sometimes in life you have to choose. Okay? So I choose travel. So my wife is travel. Okay? My wife is travel. Because I know that if I decide to have a family, I couldn't have all these experiences. And when I decide that, I decide it's travel. Okay?
And at what age you started with this travel?
I started 25 years ago. But these experiences were more when I was 30, 40. Okay, all this. I started traveling because my parents took me abroad to study English and French, and I studied at university. I was 15 years old, and I was living there in universities from people around the world. When you are 15 years old, you see the world from another side, and you found people from abroad, and I said, well, I